From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Daniels Roofing, licensed, bonded, insured roofing contractor. 45 years of generational expertise, offering a variety of roofing systems in the North State. Composition shingles, metal, tile, fire-safe wood shingles, and spray foam roofing systems. An energy-saving cool roof, perfect for commercial flat roofs and mobile homes. With other companies, you may get a foreman or a salesman, but with Daniels Roofing, you get Daniel. Call today for your free estimate. Daniels Roofing, 3 generations working hard to protect your home and business.
Well, as we see things happen here with a lot of the native apps on your phones, we're seeing a lot of numbers, a lot of big numbers for next week, and some of those are quite inaccurate. What you have to remember is a lot of your weather apps, they are just completely computer generated. There's no human interaction. Here's the beauty of the Weather NorCal app, is that the 6 neighborhoods, I forecast for the 6 neighborhoods, and the 7-day forecasts in those 6 neighborhoods are all generated by me. I have a say in what that 7-day forecast is. So you can rest assured that the 7-day forecast that you're looking at for your area here in Northern California is going to be a 7-day forecast that I had my hands on, right? But then, of course, it's not just that. You've also got current conditions. You can watch all of the video forecasts. So check out the free Weather NorCal app today. It's free. Go to the App Store, search for Weather NorCal, and download it for free. I think you'll like it. All right, so here's the weather headlines. Let's kind of get into it. We got a lot of things going on. Next week is the big story, right? So we want to really talk about that heat wave. But you know what? Before we get to that heat wave, it's not going to be too bad going into the weekend. So slightly cooler this weekend actually in the mountains. But in the valley, the temperatures actually kind of level off. The temperatures we saw today, pretty much what we'll see here throughout the weekend, kind of averaging out about 100 degrees in the valley, give or take, for Saturday and Sunday. We're still looking forward to the cooler morning lows, so that's going to be something to look forward to as well. But then we've got the bigger heat going into next week. Not only the daytime highs, but those overnight lows not dropping a whole lot either. So it's going to be those warm nights and hot days. So here's your neighborhood forecast at a glance. About 100 degrees, give or take, for the valley. 80s and 90s for the higher elevations, and for the coast in the low 60s. That'll pretty much be the case again for your Sunday. So we look at the winds, and of course we talk about the fire danger every day. We're in that time of the year. We need to keep a close eye on it. Look at the winds. Again, typically in the afternoon, they're really picking up here for the valley out of the northwest for Saturday afternoon. Then they die down for Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, the winds pick back up. Maybe not as strong, but still some strong winds at that point. All right, let's take a look at the humidity, and you can see the relative humidity is low. We're in the teens and even some low 20s in there as well. And that's pretty much going to be the case as we take you into your Sunday too. All right, so let's take a look at the forecast or the fire weather risk, right? This is combining the temperature, the wind, and the humidity. Typically what we see here is the high fire danger in the valley, not as bad in the mountains. And really this can be a bit of a carbon copy going into your Sunday, maybe not as high with that fire danger on Sunday. And of course you can see that low fire danger for the higher elevations. But it's the heat. So let's talk about that heat. We have an excessive heat watch for Tuesday through Friday of next week. Quite honestly, that may even extend into that next weekend, toward the end of next week. Now, I've got highs at 110 degrees plus. Yes, I do expect us to climb above 110 degrees in many cases, but it's going to be up to 120. At this point, I'm not jumping on board with that one just yet. We have to wait for a little bit more consistency in the long-range forecast models. They've been going up and down as we get towards the middle and latter part of next week, and they're still doing that. So there's a lot of inconsistency in that. But overall, I'm trending towards at least 110 degrees, if not higher, especially by the middle and latter part of next week, especially in the valley. And this is what I was talking about here. If you watched the morning forecast, the GFS on Saturday was actually showing a high of 131 degrees on Saturday. Now, the same forecast model, but a new run of that forecast model now has it at 123 degrees. I still think that's overdoing it, but the European forecast model was fairly consistent. You know, it was the earlier run was showing it at 118 degrees. The latest forecast model run has it at 119 degrees. So, of course, you tend to believe the European a little bit better. But bottom line is this. We're seeing that inconsistency here, but we've just got to keep watching it closely. and it is going to get hot. So when you look at the overall trend here, all right, so here we got pocket of cooler air, another pocket of cooler air. This pocket of cooler air is what brought our temperatures down yesterday. But we've got this ridge of high pressure to our east, which is fairly weak right now. Another ridge of high pressure to our west. It's fairly weak right now as well. Both of them over the weekend will be building and getting stronger and moving in our direction. This one moving to the north and west, moving closer to us over the desert southwest. This one over the eastern Pacific, moving closer to us, building and getting stronger. Now, you look at that cooler air, you see how it's not as far south as the one that moved over us yesterday. So that is because these ridges of high pressure are pushing that cooler air to the north, and as a result, we stay warm. Now, it's going to be hot, but not as hot as when we go into next week. Look at this ridge of high pressure. Now, this one, it's retreating back down to the east. This one, though, is the one that we've got to keep our eyes on, the one over the eastern Pacific. So we're going to switch gears now, and I want to talk about fire danger real quick here for Monday, Tuesday of next week, because the flow around that high, this is pretty standard and typical around here. When you have the positioning of that high pressure, the clockwise rotation around that high can give us some strong north winds, which is a hot and dry north wind that we got to look at when we go into Monday, Tuesday. So fire risk is going to be a concern going into early next week. All right? But on top of that, temperatures are increasing. You're going to notice an increase on Monday, on Tuesday. Look at Wednesday. Look at the 4th of July. That bubble of heat is now right on top of us. But if you watched this morning, you may have seen that this ridge of high pressure was actually stronger than what you're seeing here now. Again, is that sign that that same forecast model is showing it getting weaker. So for us to jump on 120, 125 degrees, still too early to say that because we're seeing changes in the forecast model each day. But as we go into Saturday, that bubble of heat now just off to our east, but for all intents and purposes, pretty much right on top of us. Temperatures are going to spike again on Saturday. Then I do expect that that will start to shift off to the east as we get towards the end of that next weekend. But there you can see the temperature trend for the valley. Normal high is 96, we'll be well above that. But you see how it's just kind of level through the weekend? And then Monday 104, and then there you can see 110 degrees and higher for Tuesday, and of course going to that upcoming weekend, that next weekend. Here's a look at your mountains, same story. Temperatures are going up there as well, just depends on where you are. And even the coast, seeing some warmer temperatures for next week. Middle to latter part of next week, parts of the coast could be looking at temperatures in the low 70s. So it's getting warmer there as well. Now, it's not just the heat we've got to watch, but how about those thunderstorm potential here, right? So not necessarily for tomorrow. We still have some of that morning fog along the coast. It looks like it may return for Saturday afternoon. A lot of clouds developing in the higher elevations, and you'll notice it is picking up on a few showers trying to develop. So could we see a stray shower for parts of the mountains tomorrow? Not entirely out of the question, but as we go into Sunday, I think that's when we're going to see better chances when we look at futurecast. Once again, we're still seeing a lot of that fog along the coast Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, look at this. You see the thunderstorms popping up, especially in Lassen County and even into Modoc County as well. So that's Sunday. And again, still seeing some of that fog out along the coast. So we'll have to watch for that potential. One of the concerns would be, dry lightning. So we've got to watch for that. Wave heights are actually dropping for your Saturday. And then as we go into your Sunday, it looks like they increase a little bit here, but overall, not much change in those wave heights, which means don't expect to see any small correct advisories. Northwest winds at about 10 to 15 knots, waves in the northwest at 5 feet at about 6 seconds. So here's your forecast for tonight. As I mentioned, we're looking forward to these cooler nights. Temperatures dropping down to the mid-60s on average for the valley. That's not bad. That's a nice cool start to the day. There you can see temperatures in the 40s and 50s for the higher elevations. And for the coast, upper 40s to around 50 degrees. Now we take a look at your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. And of course, you can see those temperatures are actually dropping a little bit from what we saw today. Low 90s Saturday, Sunday, mid 90s by Monday. Temperatures increasing as we go into next week, over 100 degrees by next Tuesday. And your North Coast neighborhood forecast, of course, for the coast, there it is, right? Even the increase there by the middle and latter part of next week in the low 70s. And for the inland areas, we're going to see a slight drop this weekend, going back up Monday, and especially going into Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. There's that drop in the temperatures from Mount Shasta well into the 90s. And look at this. Mount Shasta City could possibly get close to 100 degrees here by the time I go Thursday, Friday. That next Saturday, I'm seeing signs of potential triple-digit heat. We'll see. But of course, for tomorrow, not looking all that bad, right? Mainly in the mid-80s. Mid-80s for Modoc County tomorrow as well, but it's also warming up. I've got that chance for showers and thunderstorms here Saturday afternoon in Modoc County, and not to mention in the eastern mountains as well on Sunday. Temperatures increasing. I do think Susanville by around Wednesday, Thursday, you could see some triple-digit heat there as well. In your Valley Neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor, these temperatures are going to be hot, but at least below 100 degrees, mainly in the upper 90s for, say, Red Bluff southward. As you head north of that around Redding, Bella Vista, Palisadro, maybe around 100 degrees, but you get the idea. Leveling off upper 90s to about 100 degrees here through the weekend, and then there you can see that temperature increase. For Redding, about 100 degrees through the weekend, 104 Monday, temperatures continue to climb. And again, I'll be adjusting these numbers. These numbers are going to change day by day. But bottom line, it's going to be hot, especially as we go into Tuesday through the end of next week.
Everywhere I go, I'm riding with pride. I'm riding on my go-go. Watch me glide. Everywhere I go, I'm getting around. I'm riding on my go-go. All over town. I'm riding in style and feeling so right. It's easy to take and it's all so right. Everywhere I go, I'm riding on my go-go.
Everything Medical, your mobility experts.